We're going to take a walk on the park here, and I got to say that it was Travis Curdane that helped me name this form. And there's a lightness and an airiness that you want to get out of this form, and yet here's all these tension moves. It's confusing, right? But the tension is to create this huge contrast between how you're tamping everything down and then letting it release and spring. You know, the tendency is to press down and look for that tension, and then to activate muscles to release it. And what we're trying to do is get to the point where we can create that tension, and then the simple letting go of that tension allows us to start essentially riding a cloud. It should be light and airy through most of this form, and essentially it should look effortless. Now the breathing itself can get a little complicated, but if you can figure out how this works, I've seen some folks in my life, and it looks like all their guts have dropped way down, and they don't have the pelvic floor to hold it up. And it seems to me that if you want to maintain proper alignment in your body, that developing muscles that help to hold all of your guts up behind your ribs where they belong is really something well worth doing. So in creating this approach towards breathing and how to manage it, that's something that I really think a lot about. Another thing I want to think about as we're learning these breathing movements is that the breathing itself is engaging so many different muscles. Every single muscle in your torso all the way through can have some impact on your breathing. Some have more impacts than others, obviously, right? But we want to get a chance to see if we can isolate those and get into them more specifically, right? And then in doing that, that creates a certain amount of tension. Now again, when you guys get to the tension part, and it feels like you're supposed to be doing this hand movement in slow motion, and again, I see an awful lot of people going, like they're flexing their bicep. Urgh. It's not so much about flexing your arm to push it as in creating tension with the ground. That feeling of really literally kind of sinking down, trying to press your feet towards each other a little bit and grip the ground and then spring up out of it lightly. Right? So these are the things that we're looking for as we go through these exercises. So the form itself should give you this huge contrast between how to create tension and also how to store energy underneath the ground. Like later on when somebody's throwing a technique at you and your ability to store energy, like underneath that back foot, something pushes on you and you're able to roll back off of it. You don't have to go back the same direction you came. You can take that energy and roll it any place. Eventually this form should give you this ability, like air. Air doesn't have to stay within a container, right? Like water is inside of a container. Air can just go everywhere, right? That feeling that you could take that energy and essentially go anywhere with it. So for the breathing, you're standing about shoulders width apart. What you want to do is have that feeling of expanding everything out here, right? So I always love those Bruce Lee like pictures. You see him go, and this all flares out. You want that feeling of flaring out in every direction, right? So not just flaring out just to the side, but you also want to be flaring out from front to back, right? And I think about doing that by taking my intercostals, the muscles that run in between my ribs, and think about doing this. Stretching my ribs out from each other, right? So when I'm breathing in, and I'm going to simulate my ribs with my fingers as I'm breathing in, this is happening. And they stretch apart from each other, right? And then when I breathe out, they collapse together again. So we're controlling our breathing primarily with our diaphragm, which sits right down here, pretty much behind your dantian. It sits right behind here, right? So that feeling of expansion, what's happening is you're creating negative pressure inside of your body. Breathing is a passive experience. So as you're breathing in, it feels like you're sucking air in, you're not. You're creating negative pressure and air rushes in. As the pushing the air out is where you're actually more of an active. And that feels like we're just like letting it go, right? Because if you take your muscles and you expand them, and you let them go, they automatically contract without any effort. That's why it's confusing. One's passive and the other is active. The first one is a passive thing, but it takes an active response inside of your body, and the opposite is true when you go to let it go. So as I go to breathe in, I'm going to think about these muscles down here rolling up like a tube of toothpaste. So think about, literally, if I took my hand and pressed in, I'm pressing in down here. Think about lifting up, everything up. And if you do this with your hands, you might even feel like take and press until you can feel the muscles in your belly that should be there from doing all those crunches all these years, right? And feel if you can feel your guts. How many of you have been to a massage therapist and had them get in to work on your psoas or your hip flexors, and it feels like they're trying to cramp your guts, like you almost got to go poo, right? So that all they're doing is they're running into your yeah, I know. There's a way around that, by the way. And I'm working up another class when we get to come back together, this way of really investigating how things are moving in your body and finding balance points and leverage points to do self-massage. And there's ways to get into those guts without running into the guts themselves so that you can actually massage your psoas. And it's really super simple to do. But I digress. So that same feeling of grabbing onto that, and you want to push it in towards your spine and then lift it up. Lift it up. You see that starts to fill all this up as well, right? So when you actively do that while you're breathing, and this whole thing of like lifting this up without lifting the shoulders, right? The shoulders expand and flatten. And then I start to feel cramps right here, right along the side of my spine where my rhomboids are starting to pull my shoulder blades apart. And we're going to hold it there for about 3 seconds or so, and then we're just going to let it go. Okay? So let's all stand with our hands on our bellies. And you can use your hands, and I'm going to show you this motion again. This is the motion. Up, roll, up. I'm using my knife edges of my hands to dig in and pull up on my guts. Ready? Breathe out as much as you can. And breathe in. Expand your rib cage out. Make your intercostals expand. Hold this here with your hands. Now hold that there with your hands. Let your shoulders go, but keep holding this. Ready to go. Good. Now take another breath in. Okay, so this all stays static when you do that, and then let everything go and drop into your legs. Oh, that starts to make me a little bit lightheaded. It makes you lightheaded. Take a moment, get a drink of water, something if you need to. Let's try it again. Same thing. Hands here, roll them up. You want to do that as you breathe in. So as I'm breathing in, I'm also pulling this up. Ready now? Breathe out. And breathe in. Tuck it up, tuck it up, tuck it up. Hold this. Hold this all static, right? Now hold this with your hands. Let your air out. Can't let it all out. It won't. Now breathe in again. And then let everything drop into your legs. How many of you feel side stitches right up here through the back of your spine when you did that? Okay, so you're doing it correctly if you get that. So you're holding those muscles that you literally hardly use for almost anything else. At least you don't isolate them for almost anything else. Those that can be used for that extra breath of air when Elijah Harrison's sitting on your chest, right? You can breathe only with your belly. You can breathe only with your shoulders. You can breathe only with your intercostals, right? Learning to breathe with all those different parts at the same time, this form requires that of you. Let's do one more of those, and then we're going to do a second one and drop it down one more time. Hands on your belly. Ready now? Breath in. Hold it. Hold your hands there. Breathe out. Then another breath in. And let your shoulders drop. Excellent. Now, let's do more horse stance. It's the same thing. Hands on belly. Right? So you feel like your knees are doing this, right? Pressing your knees to the outside. Dropping down like you're sitting down on a pole. One more time. Breath in. Hold your hands there now and breathe out. Keep pressing your guts up. One more time. Breath in. Now when you let it go, let everything drop in your legs. Ugh. Man, that's nice. So when you add the technique on there, let's just do it with a punch. We're going to put one hand out in front of you. So there's two. We'll do 2 punches and then a third breath and let it go. So pretend you still have your hands here and you're sucking all that up, yeah? Ready. Let's do it together. Big breath in. Now hold your belly static and then press out. And then take another breath in. Hold all this static, breathe out. As you do this, sink into the ground. Think about pressing your feet together. Pressing, sink it down, sink it down, sink it down. And then one more breath in. Everything's full, and then let everything drop in your legs. And you breathe out for the third time. Nice. You should feel way more connected to the ground, way more rooted, like get you down lower and everything else. Okay? Now, when we get back together and do this throughout the form, I'm not going to harp on you so much about the breathing. You got that in your head. There are 8 times we do this in this form. The first 4 times, we add an extra moment at the end. We'll breathe out and then another breath in before we continue. Towards the end of the form, we're going to breathe in and then take that exhalation right into something. Okay, let's start off. Feet together, hands to your side. So this chumbi, I've been thinking about this since the last form. Right? So that frickin' right arm goes over the top. Right? That way you can actually make this work. You see how this looks. Okay, watch how this happens. When I go to bring this around, right, that just pulls you right in. Right into your uppercut. Right? So, good. So when you go to catch this, when you go to put this out there, your right hand will be over the top because you're catching their left hand. So this right arm is doing all the work. You're hitting, right? This left hand's on the inside of their forearm. This right arm is behind the elbow. So you're catching it in an arm break. And then you're using that to pull them all the way around. And then right about here, you let go with that left hand. And as it goes to come back through, it's going to throw an uppercut. Yeah? And that will bring that foot right back into your cat stance. Now watch my feet as I go to do this. They don't move to the very end. Okay? One more thing. Watch. Hands are here. As I go to come across, this hand opens. And it's being a palm block at the end. So I start off with that arm break, but right about here, I'm thinking about just guarding against that arm because I got to pull this other hand back, ready for my uppercut. Okay? Make sure that your strike is coming off that back heel. So when I go to bring this around, right, watch my right heel. Boom. Pops to the outside. Notice I'm not doing this. Yeah? Tuck your pelvis up underneath you. Ready? Let's do the first part of this. Feet together, hands to your side. So the chumbi is really simple. Much like in waterfall, when you pull your hands up, you want to make sure your shoulders stay down. Don't pick up your shoulders when you go to do this. And then roll up right across the top. Right hand goes over the top. Ready, set, go. Nice. Now we got a palm block in the middle of this. And remember when I pull back this left hand, it's got to be palm down. That way I can pop it back and have an uppercut. Ready, set, go. One more time. So watch how I do this, Allison. My feet are shoulders width, but when I come around to my cat stance, they can't be. I got to slide that left foot back in. This is where it happens when I go to throw that. Right? So I kick my heel out and pull this foot back and throw my uppercut all at the same time. Guys ready? From your chumbi position. Take a look to your left, across, and back. Boom. Good job, Allison. Okay, watch. This is just simple low, high side kick into a jump front kick. And when I turn around, I'm going to get ready for my tension. Watch how this looks. Good. Oh, I can't hold my leg up right now, but you got to keep your knee up. And come around, drop your foot, hands on hips, ready and go. Then you take your big breath in as you step back. When your foot hits the ground, that's right when you start your technique. So pushing off. Okay, so your left hand will be down, right hand is up. Now, if the tension is this, tension through I'm going to do this with my arms. This is what's happening with my arms. The tension is all in the legs, right? As you go to come around and your knee is up and I go to step back. I'm going to step back, place my hands out. I've already got my breath in. I start the tension here, bah. And I'm doing a little bit of a tilt through this. What I'm doing is trying to pull my feet together and then let my arms just rotate around. Just right on in there. When I get into that position, okay, I'm going to shoot that back leg out. It's going to be a no-step flying side kick. That means your back leg comes up and you kick. Woo, I did that. And when I get done, I'm going to take my foot and turn my heel towards my target. So I'm put my butt out, ready, set, and go. So this is really simple to unwind and throw that hook kick. I'm still throwing my hook kick that way, but when I'm done, I'm going to end up facing the camera. So I finish, My hook kick, turn my body to the side, ready, set, go. Now look at me. I don't have any weight on my right foot yet. I got my hand straight out in front of me. Watch, my foot's gonna slide back behind me. When it gets to where it's going, turn my hips and drop. Now, right when I do that, that's when my breath starts. That's when the tension starts, right when my foot hits the ground and extending out. Turn your hips and keep your body up straight. It's a reverse spear hand, horizontal to the throat. Axe kick. It's an axe kick. So I pick up my leg, bam, and it looks like a reverse front kick kind of thing, right? And keep my knee up and snap my heel down, just like so. And now when I go to step forward, I'm going to step forward in a fighting stance, ready to go. Now, watch, I'm going to keep my right hip forward, I'm going to slide in front for a little X stance. Put my weight on my left foot, ready, set, go. When you do that, you roll off of your back foot, just like that. That's it. Now I'm going to sneak out a twist kick with my right leg. Nice. And now watch, turn your hips the other way and drop down into an X stance. Now we're going to step off at a 45-degree angle for this horse stance. I'm going to move back so I got some space. When I go to throw this, left hand is a back fist, right hand is a down block. And notice that we're at 45 degrees with the room right now for this movement. Here, this right hand comes up to your hip. Left hand, right hand, right hand. Right hand, then left, please. Ready, set, go. I was doing that right. Now watch, I'm going to set up this tension. I'm going to turn so you can see me. We're still at 45 degrees. This hand comes up to your ear just like so. When you go to do this, this is a tension movement, and it's a grabbing block, just like in waterfall. So you bring your hands to center, and then you press off from there. When you get in your full position, just like in waterfall, you got that other hand all the way back. You got 135 degrees out of this. Your elbow is in line with your shoulder. Now I'm going to hold that there. I'm going to take my other hand and grab a hold of my wrist. What I'm doing is pulling that shoulder right back into my torso. When I step up, right, it's going to be a side kick to the knee, right? So I'm going to pull this all the way to the other side, and then my front leg comes up for a side kick. Ready, set, go. Now when I step down, what I'm going to do is turn and drop my hands down for a groin block. Now I was going 45 degrees. Now I'm going to straighten myself out straight with the rim and come around. This is a targeted inside down block, just like so. Just like so. When I go to jump around, I got to set it up so that I got my breath with me. Because right when my feet hit the ground, I got to have all my breath in me ready to start going out. So I take a big breath in, jump up, and as soon as I land, I start pressing that out. Ready, set, go. And then the other side too, just like we did at the beginning. And again, doing that same exact breathing exercise where you pull in, roll your guts up, hold it static, and then press out. Now, this left hand is going to travel straight back. And we did this once before in Spirit. This hand comes back and then rolls around. Watch, I'll do this to the side so you can see how this looks. Come straight back, reach out and grab something out here, and then punch it out there in front of you. Don't do this, you guys. Don't do this. Don't pull this back and hit your hand back here. Your hand is punching something and you're reaching out and grabbing it. It's out there. You got to reach up and punch it. You're holding something static. So one more time, you're here. When you go to pull this back, reach up and punch. And then simply fold your elbows into your center line and come forward for your stick block. When you grab on your stick, you want both of your thumbs facing the same direction. So point your left thumb at the ground and your right thumb off to your right. My right foot comes around 90 degrees off the center. And again, when we go to do that, we're coming up for a strike to the head. So that first strike, again, when you go to do this, it comes up at a 45-degree angle. It's going to put your hand right down here by your hip. And then when I go to flip this around, my foot comes out, flip 90 degrees, and again, it comes up to the head. Then as I go across, I'm going to hit to the body in a straight line as I start dropping down. And the last strike goes to the groin. So it goes this way, up. So I'll do that one more time so you can see what I'm doing. Watch how this looks. There's the 45 degrees to the head. Then somebody else 45 degrees to the head. Horizontal, straight up. And this is going to swim under, just like so. Boom, you got to turn your body to hit it. When I get done with that, it's followed with a roll. And I'm going to come back to my original position so I don't lose track too much of where I'm going here. Okay? When I go to roll over, this is going to be a hard roll. So I'm going over my right shoulder even though my left foot is forward. So it's a tight roll. And when I go to come up, my left foot's going to travel right behind me to come up. And I'm in this crouched position. Take your hand and press it down just like so, like you got a middle block out in front of your shoulder. Now watch, I'm going to tuck my pelvis up underneath me. This is another tension move, so you start breathing at the same time. So as I go to come up, watch, I'm just squeezing my butt cheek up underneath me so I can straighten up, using my whole entire body to activate my arm. When you go to get done with that, watch how this looks. I'm going to turn my thumb over and roll around the top to grab. Amy? So I've got Amy in front of me, and she throws that punch at me. I've done this palm lifting block. Well, watch. I'm going to slink underneath and grab onto this. I'm going to pull this down to the ground, and using that, I'm going to use that, throw my crescent kick. Right? So you're pulling on that arm to get your body going. Easier for me to do it on this side. Switch sides. That's the punch. Right? Here it is. I'm going to pull this down. Oh man, I don't want to do it because she'll actually like fall into my foot. So if I pantomime that movement, when I go to bring this up, I'm in my cat stance, or my X stance, excuse me. So I should have this foot behind me. Okay, you roll your hand over and grab a hold. And you pull this arm down while that leg comes up. That was good. Okay, so in the context of the form, after you've gotten done with your palm lifting block, we'll do this with our left side. You turn your hand over, leading with the side of the thumb. Then flip it over and grab. You're going to pull that hand down, and throw your crescent kick off to the side. Now we're going to do a soft roll. We're going to go over that left shoulder because our left foot is leading. And you roll. Mr. Evans is correct. You roll back, and it's a low X block. Thank you, Mr. Evans. Now we're on a straight line. Now we're going to go 45 degrees. I'm going to step from here to over here on my asterisk. Yeah? Over here. So I'm going to roll my hands up to the center and step over here. Ready, set, go. And now my feet are going to stay on my center line. Take your hand, roll it forward, all the way around. Ready, set, go. Now my feet are on a 45-degree angle and off to the side. Now I take my hand up over my ear, square off my shoulders and hips, back to surround the other side. Now, if I did this, come over here. So I just blocked her little kick there. Good. And now when I step up, I'm over here. I'm still fighting her. Right? She's going to throw like another front kick over here. Boom. There's my scooping block over there. Then when I go to step, I'm still throwing my back fist to the same place. So you guys can actually see this is going off at a 45-degree angle. That's good. So this is where my side kick's going to go. Right along that same way. And then my round kick is going to go along this straight line over here. Then I step back on this straight line here for my knife hand square block. Don't worry, we'll do it again. All the way back to your X block, guys. All the way back to the X block. Okay, so let's roll up 45 degrees. Step with that left foot. Ready to go to a knife hand. Step with your feet on line. Big circle. The hand comes out front. Finish with your scooping block. Now as I go to step forward, I'm going to square off my shoulders and reach back 45 degrees. Ready, set, go. That's where your side kick goes. Come around side kick and then round kick. Off at 45 degrees from there, then straight back. Now we just did a side kick into a round kick. Now we're going to do a round kick into a side kick. Now, I can't really do this. You got to run. And go round kick, side kick. So you're going at a 45-degree angle out in front of you. So if I did that according to the asterisk, when I went running up and jumped, I go round kick, side kick, right? And you see that the chamber for my round kick, right? Get done here. Here it is. That's the chamber for my side kick. So my knee is pointing 45 degrees, right? Round kick, side kick. 45 degrees, 45 degrees. Okay, when I get done, I'm going to turn around and twin knife hand. Okay, so let's take it all the way back to your lower X block. Let's see if we can get through this. Ready now. Roll up twin knife hand. Step through, scooping, and knife hand down block. I forgot that. Oh my gosh. And then step forward front stance with your back fist. Now we got our side kick, round kick, and step back. Now you got your jump. You got 3 steps running. 1, 2, 3. Jump. 1, 2. Then spin that right hand around. Come up for your twin knife hand. Nice. Sliding round kick is what we're doing next. Since we're in a back stance, we got to focus it. So as you slide up, stick it out there for a second. Then when you step down, it's going to be another grabbing block. So breath in. When your foot hits the ground, you start right in your center, and then press off from your center, pulling the other hand back. This hand ends up, elbow in front of your shoulder, 135 degrees off center. Hold that static as you go to spin backwards. So you pull it into your back. Then look over your shoulder, coming through. Knife hand strike, reverse uppercut. Now we got a low high front kick off at this angle. 1, 2, and step back. Now we've just gone 45 degrees. We were straight, but now we're at an angle. Now 2 crescents. It's a double jumping crescent. Inside crescent, then a jumping outside crescent. Boom. Right into your slide side kick and turn around fighting stance. Now I'll do that same part again and stay on my asterisk so you can see how it works. So you get done with that round kick, side kick forward, yeah? And you do your twin knife hand around. If I slide straight up here, there's my round kick. When I step down, I got my grabbing block out in front of me. Then I spin around backward, knife hand strike, reverse uppercut. That's all done straight. Now here's my angle for my front kicks here. Here's my low high, 1, 2, and I'm going to step back. You got a reinforced middle block there. Now you're double jumping crescent into a slide side kick. Watch. And around. Woo! There you go. Nicely done. Okay, now we got another roll here, and I do believe that this is a hard roll, correct? Goes over the right shoulder, but our left foot is forward. So when I gotta get done, I gotta come up into a reverse punch with my left hand. Let's see how that looks. Okay, and when I go to throw that kick, see my foot, it flips around. Boom. Comes with my hip. Back a little bit so you can see me here. Okay, now just like when we came up in spirit, you don't want to do this. Ugh. Right? You don't want to lean forward. So put the top of your foot on the ground. Let's see if I can do this today. So when you're going to come up, see if you can come up on the top of your foot, just like so. Yeah, no problem, Allison. So that's what we're hitting with, is the top of the foot, because we're going to come up for a snap front kick. So as you got to come up, point your knee up, come all the way up. When you get done with that, put your foot down in front of you, but don't put weight on it yet. Hands out like a double knife hand. When I watch how I do this, I'm going to look over my shoulder. I'm going to flip myself around. And when I do that, I got a reverse double knife hand guarding block. Yeah, you got it, Garong. That's just fine. Okay, I'm in a cat stance on the other side. Now I'm still going at an angle here. Still going at an angle. So now when I step forward, it's going to be a twin knife hand right into a double or a guarding block. Both are cat stance. Almost. Hey, I need to review something really quick. It's called a twin knife hand, you guys. One hand is doing this. The other hand is doing this. I'm going to do this while I look at myself. Right? So this is a vertical circle, and this is a horizontal circle. So when I go to do this, one hand is coming back to do this. The other is rolling up. Right? You end the same place that you would end with a double knife hand. So if you just do that in a back stance, we can do that turning a couple times. You bring this other hand around, this sneaks up. Yeah? Turns around, ba-ba. This rolls first, and this sneaks up. So as this hand rolls back, this one sneaks up. Watch again, roll, sneak, and through. Right? Sometimes I do a little bit of a, to roll that through. Okay, you got the idea? So when you guys go to come down and do those twin knife hands, you want to see if you can engage with them. So after I've done that reverse punch and they go to come up, rolls around. I'm so happy I can do that again. Now watch how I do this. 1, 2. Ready, set, and go. Nice, girl. There you go, man. Okay, now it's a jumping rear leg side kick. And when you're done, you reach out, you put your foot down, hand in front of your face like you're going to throw a rising bar. Wipe some sweat off your brow and rotate your body. Extend your arm all the way behind you. You're going to throw a punch with this hand. As you go to put this foot out, roll it open, throw that reverse punch. Is that correct? What stance? It's a walking stance. I should listen to my body. Okay, can we do that one more time? I want to do it again for Gron, make sure he gets a chance to do that. So we just did the twin knife hand and the guarding block, and we're in our cat stance. So watch how I do this. I'm going to do it fast for you. Ready, set, and go. Jump side kick. Step down over the shoulder. There you go. Got a little figure 8 in the middle there. Got it there, Allison. Very good. Now that right hand's going to take duty as the extension. Reach out and grab somebody's head with your right hand. As you step forward in your front stance, it's a rising elbow strike with your left hand. Then rechamber, dropping knife hand strike in a forward front stance with your left hand. Again, we are still going at an angle here. So we're going to go 90 degrees, which means we're still going to be at an angle. When we go to do this 90-degree angle, your front foot's already pointing the direction that it needs to go. So your back foot's going to end up stepping off of that same angle, 90 degrees. You're going to do a high X block. Ready, set, go. And you notice I didn't do that by circling my foot up. Can we do that again? Come back here to your drop knife hand. So watch, I'm not doing this. I'm not bringing my foot up here and then stepping it back out. I know I got to go 90 degrees from where I'm at. So I'm going to bring that back foot right up and set that up. Jeez. Right? So when I go to step, kinetic value of my hands pulling back plus my shoulder rolling back a little bit allows me to just put that foot out there and roll my hands up. So let's do that one more time. Got your drop knife hand. So we're in a forward front stance. You have to shift from a forward front stance to a regular back stance. Look over your shoulder. Watch how this looks. Ready, set, and go. Now I'm going to do this next move so you can see the whole thing. That's all one thing. We're going to break it down for you. You're in your back stance and you've got this high X block. Open your hands. Now slide your foot back a little bit to the point of no return. Now reach around and grab a hold of somebody's arm. And then you circle around their wrist just like so. And as you pull that back into your hip, what you're going to do is bring this front foot back into a walking stance. Right when it gets there, you're going to get that reverse punch out. Yeah? Let's do that again. Ready now. You're in your back stance, get that high X block. Open your hands, grab a hold, roll that back. Now again, I'm only pulling my foot part way back. This right heel has got to go out to finish that thing. Then you immediately pull that right hand back in front of your face. Send your left hand out, high knife hand middle block. Great, let's do that again. Back to your back stance, high X block. So open your hands, roll it back, and finish with your walking stance. Then pull your hand up and step. High knife hand middle block. Okay, now we just got a little rest here, so take your left hand and cross it underneath. You got a high X block, breath in, breathe out. Again, this is another tension breath. And then another breath in, and release. To jump, spin, crescent. But it's only 270 degrees. You don't have to go a full 360. So what I did just now is I straightened myself out. Before I was at an angle, now I'm straight with the rim. I'm going to go straight back. Here's my right leg. It's a jump. So I'm going to jump up, throw that crescent kick, and rechamber it. You see my hips are still rotated, yeah? Then I'm just going to unwind, throw my hook kick. Ready, set, go. Now arch lift, and when you step down, pull your hands back to your hips. Come down into your cat stance, low X block with your hands open. Now, elbow strike straight back. Now, without chambering, right hand throws a horizontal spear hand. We're doing all this in your cat stance. Now turn your thumb towards the ceiling. You're going to throw your hammer fist to the groin protected. And now this right hand comes back to your elbow, just like so. And when it gets there, you're going to throw a twin middle block, just like we did in spirit. Don't worry, we're going to do all this again. Now I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Give me your high X block, and then circle down. This is a left hammer fist hitting the palm of your hand. Okay, let's do all that one more time, please. Let's take it back to, by the way, this is up here. This is where riverbed is. This is where that chumbi in the middle of attitude is, and that's where this one is as well. It's right in front of the solar plexus, just like so. So I'm going to put the first two kicks together right into the first hand movement. Let's see how that looks. Ready, set, here we go. Jump, spin, crescent, turn, hook. There you go. And then cat stance. Low X block with your knife hand, straight back with your elbow strikes. And it goes like this, strong. Pop, pop. Pop, pop. Yep. And 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the individual movements. Now I'm going to do the whole thing so you guys can see what it looks like. Let's see if I can pull this off. Okay, coming back to here, your right foot leads. Got your hammer fist down in front of you. As I go to step forward, I'm going to execute my back fist in my back stance. Ready, set, and go. Notice that my back stance is pointing the other direction. So really it's off of my back foot that I'm throwing that back fist. Now I'm going to jump forward, leading with my back foot. I'm going to throw a reinforced back fist to the bridge of the nose. Ready, set, go. I'm just going to unwind. And when I get there, I'm going to throw a round kick. Cross behind, and then execute a twin knife hand stepping backwards. And as soon as you get there, you should be jumping again. Right? We're going to come back and do this again and show you how the flow works. For right now, it's a jumping outside crescent kick. When you get done with that, turn backwards for your side kick. And then one more time, cross behind. And this hand is going to circle up. This hand circles back. Twin knife. Let's do that whole part again. Back to your cat stance, please. You got your hammer fist. So when you step forward, make sure you're turning around so you actually have your right foot facing forward behind you. So stepping forward, back fist. Ready, set, go. Now look to your right. Chamber, just like you would for a reinforced middle block. And then pull those hands back so that when you lead, they can come down and it's got some power behind it. Okay, now it's a turning around kick. Cross behind, circle up for your twin knife hand. And now it's a jumping crescent kick. Turn backwards for your side kick. Cross behind for your twin knife hand. Go. Excellent. Now I'm going to see if I can do the whole thing for you so you can see how it actually flows. Yeah, I did it. Woo! All right. So now we got to step up and do this palm heel strike. So everybody step up with your back foot. Right hand goes to your hip. Left hand in front of your face. Your left hand is going to throw a rising block. And your right hand, if I tuck my elbow, is going to throw a palm heel strike. Right? So when I go to do this, I'm going to step up. There I go. I'm going to step back into my back stance, just like so. So my right arm is straight. My left hand is up over my head. Hands on hips. Okay, what I want you guys to try to do, watch how I do this. I'm going to leap forward with my back foot. I'm going to land backwards. My toe is facing backwards with the other foot off the ground. Let's try that again. And once again, how I do this, all I'm doing is doing a 180, you guys, just a 180. My left foot comes around, and when it gets there, I drop down just like so. Ready, set, and go. All right, one more time. This time I'll finish the whole move. I'm going to step forward after that. Watch how this looks. I come up and around. And I finish by stepping forward with a cat stance. So when you're working on this, you want to land with your foot backwards, then spin and step forward in your cat stance with your back fist. Let's do it together by the numbers. Ready? Pop forward and land. Ready, go. Now look over your shoulder. All you got to do is step forward with your right foot, snap your hip around and throw your back fist with your front hand. Yeah. Can we do that one more time? See if I can do the whole thing all at once for you. Watch how this looks. Remember, watch how I'm doing this. I'm crossing my arms in here when I spin so I don't fall all over the place. Watch how this looks. Oh, I nailed it too, man. That was good. That was one of the best ones I've ever done. Okay, so I'm starting off here and I'm in a cat stance, right? So all this last part was done in a straight line. We're going to turn back at an angle again. So watch how I do this. What I'm going to do is rotate my hips so that I'm now facing 135 degrees off center. So at a 45-degree angle, and then I'm going to take my left foot and tuck it behind. So you end up in a crane stance. Let's do that one more time. So you got your cat stance, yeah? So watch how I do this now. I'm going to put my right foot down while I turn at my angle, setting up my angle. Then I slide my left foot back and cross it up behind. One more time. I'm going to see if I can do it all at once for you. Pretty simple. Ready, set, and go. Great. Let's add the hands now. We got our back fist here, yeah? It's a twin guarding block, you guys. It's a twin guarding block. So watch how this looks. This hand comes into my midline. So you take the back fist hand and bring your thumb right in front of your solar plexus. Okay? And then your left hand is going to reach out just like so. It kind of look like a guarding block already, except for this hand is turned and this hand is turned. It kind of already look like a guarding block, yeah? Now watch. I'm going to put that foot down and keep my hands where they're at. And then I've got my twin knife, my twin guarding block. This one's going to do the horizontal circle. This one does the vertical circle, just like so. And I do that with my foot coming back into position. Ready, set, go. Don't worry, we're going to do that one more time, so come on back. Got your cat stance, yeah? So let's set it up. Bring your hands over. Palms facing, right palm down, left palm up. Remember to tuck that elbow in. And bring that left foot back. Ready, set, go. So again, we're at an angle now. When I step straight back, I'm going to step straight back into a horse stance with a side punch. So watch how I do this. I'm going to pull my right hand back to my hip. And as I step, turn my hips to the side for my side punch. Ready, set, go. Now we got a twin punch straight out front. Pull both hands back. Twin punch straight out front. Now we're going to do a side punch off to your left. So chamber by pulling the hand back, rotate it, and punch to the side on this side. We're going to do that whole part again, so come back to your cat stance, please. So watch how I do this. Ready, set, and go. There you go. Step back and punch. Boom. Now twin punch. And now side punch. So you see how that, let's bring this hand back over here for your side punch with your right hand. So watch how this looks. Boom, boom. Ready, set, go. Boom, boom. Do it again. Back over to here. Watch again. Boom, boom. Ready, set, and go. Boom, boom. Now pull that foot back and give me a nice little palm block over the top. Reverse inverted palm block on the bottom. They look like this. They look like this. And again, I'm going at 45 degrees here. When I go to step down, I'm going to do a little knife hand down block. Boom. And this is important. The second down block we're going to do later is going to have a closed hand. It says an open hand because you're going to grab somebody's head. Now this is going to be another tension. Big breath in and reach out. Then a big breath in and boom, and then down block when you're done. Alright, so what you're doing, so my hips are 45 degrees, but I'm grabbing something that's going straight with the room. So it's off at an angle from my front leg. And as I gotta pull this back, boom, break it over that front knee, finish with your down block. Now we got a little stick block on the other side, so just flip your feet. You're in an even stance for this. Ready, set, go. Sorry. Thumbs are facing the ground. There we go. Now just like at the beginning of the form, we're just going to flip it. We're going to do a low high side kick and a jump front kick. Watch how I do this. We're both going at an angle. But when I get done, I'm going to straighten out, step forward with a scissor block. Ready to go. Low high side kick, jump front kick, and then a scissor block. I'm going to spin around. This is moving forward now. So watch how this looks. You're in a reverse scissor actually because my left hand is down and my right leg is forward. So this right hand is going to come in front of my face. I'm going to step forward with a high knife hand middle block. Ready, set, go. Nice. Big breath in and push that palm across. Remember, it's not going straight across, it's also going forward. Breath in and punch. All right. Just like at the beginning, we had that snapping axe kick. It's an outside axe kick. So I pick up my knee and I snap it down. When I'm done, I'm going to see if I can turn around in a back stance with a back fist. Ready, set, and go. So watch, I'm going to turn my body so you can see this a little bit better. So right now I'm facing backwards, right? So when I got to pull my hands into my center, I'm going to set up with a square block. I'm going to make sure that I'm like shifting when I do that. Ready, go. So one more time, I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing. Watch, I'm going to spin a ball with this front hand, just like so. When I do that, boom, rolls down on the other side. Now this top hand comes up, swings around as far as it can. This hand comes up the inside and shifts back. And you're in a twin knife hand on the other side. Don't worry, we're going to do that again. Let's take it back to, all right, back to your horse stance. So you just got done with that knee, with that head strike, and you came down with your down block. Okay, over to your right. Remember, we're at an angle. Bring your stick block around. Here's your low high side kick, jump front kick. Ready, set, and go. Then straighten yourself out of the room. Reverse scissors, stepping forward. I'll switch to the stretch. Reverse scissors, stepping forward. Breath in. Block, and then another palm block. Tension, 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 tension. And snap out your axe kick. Step around with your back fist. Ready and go. Then you look over your shoulder, square block. Ready and go. Now watch how I do this. Twin knife hand low, twin knife hand high. Woo, Michael Sheehan. Okay, moving your right foot back to Chumbi. Right hand leads, row. And show.
Now get out.